Hey, everybody. I am joined by some incredible tutors here today that are going to be sharing their experience of being in an accountability partnership. And I have to tell you, being in an accountability partner is a game changer when it comes to your business. It allows you to have that ability to have somebody to bounce ideas off of, and everybody gets to add value to the partnership. And when we say things out loud, we are that much more, able to make things happen. So
Yeah.
stay
Mhm.
tuned and get to meet our amazing accountability partners that we'll be sharing today. Welcome back, everyone. So glad you are here. Like I mentioned, today we're going to be talking all about how really we can embrace this idea of accountability partnerships and the crucial role that it plays in our tutoring business and really fostering a positive, learning environment for ourselves with our business. So you guys get to just kind of sit back, relax, get to know some of these amazing tutors and hear the experiences that they have had. So we're going to start with Robin. Robin, share a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do.
I'm Robin Glembotzky, and I tutor physics, AP physics, tutor only high school, and tutor math and AP biology, actually. And I also have I tutor SAT, but the last few years has kind of calmed that down quite a bit.
Uh-huh.
So, and I joined the Insiders Group, 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and it changed my world. I learned so
Mhm.
much, and as long as you're willing to put the work in, you'll reap the rewards. That's for sure. I was very
Yeah.
fortunate to end up having two amazing accountability partners, and we've been together for what, 3 years, Suzanne? 2, 3 years. Suzanne Davis, and Elaine Lingard. And Elaine can't make it today, but Suzanne's here. So, and we
Yeah.
meet pretty much weekly. Over the holidays, got a little shaky, but there's always at least two of us that
Yeah.
meet
That's
every week.
awesome. That's awesome. There's a consistency to it that really helps to make it successful. And like you mentioned, Suzanne is one of your accountability partners. Suzanne, tell everybody about who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Davis, and I tutor academic writing. I've expanded that a little bit to also include helping people with scholarship essays, personal statements, and graduate professional statements. But yes, as Robin was saying, I've been an accountability partner with her and Elaine Lingard. Um, and it has been three, I think it will be four in the summer. So it's been a wonderful thing. I do agree that it's a game changer,
Yeah.
because we've been able to get so much value even beyond accountability,
Yeah.
with that, like with teaching each other things, and
Yeah.
there's yeah, we've grown beyond that.
Yeah. You guys have a beautiful relationship that just, is so incredible. And I love being able to see you guys all supporting each other as you do different things online. And I think that's
Yeah.
it's amazing. I know, like, when you're speaking, I see Elaine come on in and she's there like listening and supporting you, and she's always like, "Oh, I want to hear that content that you're going to share. That'll be awesome." And I love being able to see those kinds of interactions happening between, accountability partners because, a lot of people have like these fears around having an accountability partner, but I think honestly it's the one of the best things that you can do for your business. We also have Esmy Lozano, who's gonna be sharing with us. Esmy, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yay. Well, I'm Esmy Lozano, and I am best online reading tutor on Instagram. And I also do some Instagram coaching. And I first um, just kind of was introduced to the idea of having an accountability partner through the Jumpstart program.
Mhm.
And when we were asked to, join and, get together with some partners for accountability throughout the program, I was a little uncomfortable about it. I'm like, I don't know, because I think about it like sometimes some group, someone's going to be like leading the group and a little too, I don't know, like take over the group. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But from that experience, I gained a really wonderful accountability partner who's Christina Garrison, chemistry tutor. Ace Chemistry, I believe, is her business name. And she really is the one that helped me walk through Jumpstart, because as I was going through Jumpstart, I was gaining students and I was feeling like I overwhelmed. I had too
Mhm.
many things going on. And she was the one that would make sure I showed up to her accountability calls. And so she really just like called me on it and said, let's do this. We've got to do this. You've got to finish this. And not only that, but I hired her as my son's chemistry tutor as well for a year and a half. So yes, it was a wonderful experience. And then from there, like I got comfortable with the idea of working with someone like that and with an accountability partner. So I met Daniela Loken, and we had met before Jumpstart, and we decided to take the leap and do something uncomfortable. So we did Clubhouse for a very long time. We would meet on Saturdays at 8 a.m. and we would hold a Clubhouse.
Mm.
And she was there to support me always. And I even partnered with someone else, Karen, who is wife to Best Online Math Tutor. Um, and so all this to say that really these accountability partners have helped me take the leap on things that I wouldn't have taken or done on my own. And
Mm.
that includes like lives, Instagram lives. When I first went on Instagram, I really wanted to jump out because I was terrified. And I just asked other tutors, hey, will you come for an interview? Can we talk about this topic? And so really we don't, I mean, officially, we're not like, they're not my accountability partners by like label, but that's really the role that they have played in my life for the last 3 years, I guess, since we all went online. And so it's been the most wonderful journey. And it has been a very, like people think of online tutoring or working from home as a lonely experience.
Mhm.
It isn't. You have people that you can partner with.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned so many great points, the collaboration opportunities, the ability to refer, services and the ability to yeah, it goes beyond just the accountability at a time. It becomes a friendship. And and it has the ability to. It's not to say that all accountability partnerships like work out that way, but sometimes it pushes us to higher standards for ourselves, and I think that's so critical. So you guys have
Yes.
all shared like some of your great experiences so far that you've had. What are some things that you guys would consider are necessary in order to create a successful accountability partner relationship?
I would say a
Ye-
mutual exchange, that there is both people are thinking of giving more than they receive. It's
Hmm.
the kind of partnership. Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. You have to be willing to be open and really listen
Mhm.
if somebody gives you some criticism.
Mm.
Mhm.
So, or say, says to you, "Oh, well, that sounds good, but have you thought about looking at it this way?"
Mhm.
Mhm.
I think the communication, of course, nowadays any type of communication, but you have to be able to be honest with the person. Say, as that didn't, I that's not going to work for me because of, and don't just like cut yourself off, but talk to the person and you need to hear each other. That's the only way I could put it.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah. 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 I know, Suzanne, you're a great example too of that as well, of just like being able to like listen and hear what people are saying and offer advice and those kinds of things. What are some of the things that you're thinking um, help to create a successful accountability partner relationship?
Well, the communication, like being willing to listen and also being supportive while you're listening. I completely agree with that with Robin. But then also actually showing up and staying in regular contact. So Robin, Elaine, and I, it's every Friday, but even in those occasions when we can't meet every Friday, we are during the week messaging each other and checking in with each other. And so I think being able to keep up that relationship, because sometimes you'll think, oh, my schedule is so busy, but it makes such a difference to all of us that if you can keep that relationship and that kind of checking in and sounding board relationship, because we are sounding boards too. And we also are willing to share everything that we discover. There are a lot of things that I've learned, opportunities I've heard about, and things like that from my accountability partners. So going into those things with like sharing and giving, kind of like both Robin and Esmy were saying, that really makes a difference.
Yeah. Did you guys ever, like, I know some people when they start up their accountability partnerships, they kind of set like some, like, not necessarily rules, but kind of like some agreements to make it a positive experience. Did you guys have that opportunity to do that?
No.
No boundaries. I think, well, I think for me, I kind of enjoy the partnership where we're doing something together. So I did enjoy like doing Clubhouse together because that was fun. And so I felt like I got a lot from actually going out and doing things. And then in the process of getting to that big thing that we were going to do together, it's just that interaction about preparing for that event and getting feedback. And like Robin was saying, there's times where maybe they're going to suggest something and you're like, no, I can't do that, or I'm not ready to do that.
Yeah.
Being able to say that in that interaction, sometimes it's just depending what roles you play. Like for me, being, a coach and also a tutor, a lot of times you don't have that person above you that you can go to, right? Because they're when you're coaching, you're not going to go to the people that you coach to necessarily to get feedback. And you find like you need someone outside of that circle sometimes to just get some feedback or to get some encouragement. Or like you say, you show up for each other. Like they're the ones that are going to share your stories. They're going to like cheer you on. They're your biggest fans, and it's just so nice to it's like your mom and dad showing up to the theater performance. You're like, where are they? Yeah, I remember one time my husband was running late to my son's theater performance, and our son was like, he was about to cry because he wasn't quite there yet, and I'm like, he's coming. Like I had him on the phone. And I think our accountability partners are like that. They're present. They're the first ones to like your content, or I even to refer you to clients. Like last week I got 2 referrals, and they're all people that I'm close to. And there's a trust that's built. And when you refer people to them, you know that they're going to be taken care of too, because you know that person intimately. Like you've gotten to work ethic and the way that they handle situations. So it's so easy to refer my accountability partners when there's the opportunity, or pass on a client. So that's very common. Like in my situation, I have passed on clients. Of course, a lot of the people are probably in my, reading niche or reading comprehension or writing, so that I can do that. So it has been, I feel like my cup is full just from having met so many people online. And I would tell my son, who are you playing a game with? Well, I met him online. I'm like, you need to be careful. And then when he started hearing me online on Zoom calls, he's like, Mom, do you really know her? Of course, I got to meet you, Joanne, in
Yes.
Florida. So I
Yes.
was like, real. She's really real.
She's real, and she's pretty nice and real person too. Like,
Exactly how she is on Zoom and YouTube, and you're exactly the same way. You're no different. So that's reassuring. And I know that everybody wants to meet, right? They're like, we've got like I know Robin Carvajal, who's reading remedies. She's like in Louisville, not too far from me. Then I traveled to California, and they're like, come on. I think it was Angela Moore was Angela writing tutor. She was saying you need to stop by and see me. So there's that excitement of getting to meet some of the people that you've been working with for years.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love doing that whenever I can connect. I know I've gotten to meet both you and Suzanne and Esme, not Robin yet, but you know, never know. It could be one day. Could be one day. But I just love all of you guys and your personality and just how you all want to be able to give back. I think that is so incredible, and it's almost like the accountability partners help foster that. Like I find I'm really giving with my accountability partner too, and they're really giving to me, and that it just like kind of fosters that relationship, just fosters it, and it's really a win-win when it happens. Um, can you guys think of a specific example when your accountability partnership made a significant difference in your tutoring business?
Oh, I have one.
Yeah, give
Okay,
it,
great.
Robin.
Man, well, what for the impact? I came. I didn't. I was only able to do some of the sessions, but they were all awesome. But I wanted to go support Suzanne, and
Hmm.
I learned and I watch it, and I teach science. I tutor science, so but I learned so much from her presentation and how I could apply that to my blog and Instagram work and for my students and
Yeah.
what they need to do. So that was a perfect example. I mean, it was some
Mm.
impact not within our group, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
I I learned a lot. I was taking notes. She actually laughed afterwards because when I told her that because we do such different things. We tutored such different things, but
Yeah.
it crosses. It all crosses.
It does. It
It
does. I
does.
love that. And say like you're showing up to support Suzanne, and then
Oh, well, yeah.
you're like wowed with the information that you ended up learning. You're like, this is my accountability partner. Like,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
rock on. Like I'm connected with some good people here.
Yeah.
I
Well,
I was
oh,
a I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Suzanne.
okay. I was just going to say a couple things that about the accountability partnership that really changed my business for me. In addition to referrals, which we have done with each other, um, blogging is really my main content area. And like Esme, who's a coach for Instagram, I'm a coach for blogging. And so Elaine really kind of fills in that void for me of that second voice.
Mm,
And Robin, we're all interested in that aspect of content. So we really can support each other. And when I have absolutely no idea what to write about, they can help me. Because I never want to say, oh, I have no idea what to write about, but it does happen to everybody.
yeah.
It does. You run out of ideas. So being able to do that, and then the cheering aspect does make a difference. I think having those people show up, especially when you're starting out and no one's showing up,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? You don't have that real presence. So to have those accountability partners that are your fans to be there to kind of ask the questions and do the things, I can, I've asked questions about, like reading tutoring from Elaine, and of course I'm not a parent, I don't teach reading. But I ask those questions, and she did that for me. Both Robin and Elaine did Facebook Lives with me. So starting out all of that actual showing up and cheering and supporting each other as we're kind of putting our content out makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And it really grows that online presence. Um, but yes, so being able to come up with content, and then also we've given each other students. So that's always made a difference, because once you get a student from a certain area, that word of mouth is a big thing that tutors run into.
Yeah.
So it helps get that ball rolling for you. So those were some things, you know, and we've helped Elaine too. We're helping Elaine. Elaine just published a book. So,
I saw that from one of the
yes.
posts that you made. I was like, and that's like the other thing, right? Like you can post
So we're
things that are
supporting
happening.
each other.
Yeah.
So, you know, she was telling us along the process and kind of getting ideas from us, and she'd show us different pages and things like that that she had done. And so we were able to kind of support her through that process. And now it's the supporting of promoting this book on timetables, you know, which is a great book. So if anybody needs something about timetables.
Yes, I already told her I want the book. She said it wasn't on Amazon quite yet, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for it too.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it too. I can't wait to check it out. And I remember when I first created like my first book, like I didn't have like this kind of an audience or deep friendships or those kinds of things. So I remember what it was like too, like putting out that first book and look at that, like she's already gonna have like loads of people already referring because she's taken the time to build these relationships with amazing people online. And that's what it goes beyond just regular networking. I think when you move into that like relationship of an accountability partner, you really get to know each other at a deep level, which is fantastic.
It is, and you feel like a proud parent, like a proud mama, you know, for that other person. For me, I've always been this way. I never knew that I could use it in life for anything, but I've always liked to promote others. Like I love that. And if I have a relationship like that with someone and I see that they have this like special thing that they do that they didn't think was that special. I know this happened with Audrey Tutors Reading is her handle on Instagram. And in our interactions, and we would meet weekly, I was like, you know, your handwriting program is very unique. Like other people don't do that. And it's like, what do you mean? I said, no, they don't. And so I encouraged her to sign up for the Impact conference. And she said, you think that? I said, absolutely. And to see her follow through.
Yes.
With that, I was just such a proud mama. Like, I'm like, yay, you did it. And that's really kind of the relationship of having accountability partners. Just being there. Like sometimes we don't see our greatness, we don't see our superpower, and we have that other person to come alongside and go, by the way, this is really unique. Like you should try to do something. You should monetize, you know? And so I think I've seen that a lot more and I love it. I just love, you know, to listen in and lean in and help someone to see something or try something that they wouldn't do. If you did walk them along or tell them, hey, it's not, you know, all Joanne can say is no, right?
Exactly. Like that's it. Like, and for anything, right? Anybody that's how I always look at it when I like reach out to other podcasters or other influencers or those kinds of things. It's like the worst they could say is no. And it doesn't affect who I am or what I do. Right. You know, it just, so there's nothing to be afraid of if people do say no. I've actually purchased Audrey's handwriting stuff that she had on Teachers Pay Teachers. So
I did too.
I know she's had sales.
And I did too. And she definitely, I mean, it's something that I really currently use with my students. And the partnership goes beyond what you have to do, because I was working with a student in person and I'm like, this would be ideal to just record the hands, like improving the writing. And I was able to like take a little video clip and share it on stories and tag her. And you know, that's really what a partner's like. They're going to go beyond the call of duty because they love you and they want you to shine. And so I have found that to be very, very rewarding. And they've done the same thing for me. Like just today, one of them was like, oh, I did a little 15-minute chat, and then she said, let me take a quick picture of you. And we were on a Zoom call. And next thing you know, I'm on stories and she's telling everybody about my Instagram account for Instagram coaching. And it's not something I asked her to do. And those are the best. Like how many times have we asked someone, oh, for a review? And they're like,
Yeah.
they never do it, right? And
Right,
then their
right.
closest are like, I'm going to go shout it from the mountaintop that you exist and that you have something to offer.
Yeah.
So I can't say enough about the collaboration that can happen, and it takes time to build that trust, right? Some
Yeah.
people might come in and say, oh, I want this from you, right?
Mm.
I've had people like, oh, well, you have me on a live because I have a book or I have this. And I'm like, I really prefer to build a relationship over time. Just
Yeah.
someone and that I feel that it's not that it's a mutual benefit, but that I am behind that person, I guess,
Yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And there's going to be people who they want you to start right out of the gate doing something for them. And that's the opposite of an accountability partnership. Like you're not going into it saying, "So Suzanne, you're a blogging coach. I'd like some one-on-one time with you. So you give me all this advice that you possibly can about my blog. I wrote a blog this week. Can you take a look at it? And now could you edit this for me? And then, oh, wait, can you tell me like how should I put this on Pinterest and can you show me how to like that would be the most uncomfortable thing ever if people did that, right? It is about getting to know people and how can we support you? Like, what are your goals? How can we support you? Those kinds of things versus I'm going to go into this and I'm going to grab everything that I can for free and then I'm going to ditch them as partners because
that's
just
right.
because.
I might not talk to you again. I just needed this. It happens. I've had that through DMs or Messenger where someone keeps asking more and more and more and more and more. And I'm thinking, okay, here's the link to go find out about this. At that point,
Yeah.
become like one-sided and it's not
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. 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 And I think that's important. And that's not that's just like a regular people that are kind of meeting you like outside of the accountability partnership. But some people they're trying to like squeeze their way into it, just like whatever they can get. But
It's funny.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, go
No, I was
ahead.
just thinking with Suzanne and blogging. I mean, she's a blogging expert, and I remember, and I've known her almost 4 years now, and it was probably almost a year and a half in, almost 2 years, and I was talking about my blogging, and she said, would you like me to take a look at it? I waited for her to
Mm.
offer because I was just not, I knew I didn't want to just take from her. I'm like, but I knew
Right.
that was her area of expertise. And I waited till she offered.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, that would be great. That would be great if you could do
Yeah.
that. So yeah, it's like Esme said, you have to build up a relationship. But you think about it, it's just like any like live relationship that you have with somebody. You meet somebody at a party, you don't automatically start, hey, oh, I heard you're on the newspaper. Can you, publish this article for me or all that? I mean, it takes time to build up any type of friendship. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's
It,
always about just being of value and service, right? Like if we're always putting that as at the forefront of the relationship, like how can I value? How can I help? And we're constantly thinking inside of our brain. There might be times where we're like, I have no idea how to help. And that's okay. Like that's not sometimes people just need the sounding board to get their ideas out. Right. Like
yeah.
sometimes people are like, I
Yeah.
got this idea. Like, what do you thoughts? Can you give me your feedback? And that's just as valuable in that moment to that person. And so I think that's so important. So
Yeah.
did you guys, I don't know if you, and you kind of touched on this, Esme, about some of the fears that you had in the beginning of an accountability partnership. Did Robin or Suzanne, did you guys have any fears about getting into an accountability partnership at all?
I didn't. I don't know about Robin because Robin asked, and
Okay.
we all met through the Insiders Secrets group. So we already had known each other a little bit. But I know from coaching in Jumpstart that one of the common fears is somebody's going to steal ideas.
Oh,
There's going to
Oh.
be that competition, right?
Mm.
Um, and that I've never really seen that happen, but I do know that that's kind of a fear that that some people
You know
have.
what's interesting? I see that
And
happening more with people that are not in these relationships. I see that happening with like other people that aren't in the group, like going to other people's websites and stealing the content and then using it on their website. I
right.
see that happening outside of the group, but I don't see that happening inside of the group. And maybe it's because we're accountable, because we're like scared to
Well,
like do something like that. I don't know.
I don't think they have it once they start the accountability.
Yeah.
But before getting into an accountability relationship, there's that fear. Um,
Yeah. And
like
most of us
who
don't
should I
realize that a lot of our
choose?
ideas aren't really that good anyways. Nobody's going to go after your idea. We all have our own dreams, like, and our own
Yeah.
vision and our own idea. And nobody's going to be like, oh, you know what? That idea is so good. I'm going to jump on top of that. I'm going to get it trademarked. I'm going to like make it so that you can't use it.
No, but they sometimes feel that there can be a
That one.
little bit of
Yeah. We're still in that
competition.
competition mindset, I think, sometimes
Yeah.
before the accountability partners.
Mine was more, and I did have fears. My biggest fear was, oh my God, Suzanne and Elaine, they're like rock stars.
Uh,
They're gonna say no, but I gotta try, right? I gotta try. So, and then once we started meeting, I kept thinking, what am I bringing to this group? They bring so much and I don't bring that much to this group. But, I still have moments of that, I have to tell you. But, for the most part, it's pretty even. But yeah, it's trying to get over, like you said, Joanne, the worst that somebody can say is no.
Yeah.
Don't want to be your
You
accountability
did it.
partner. So
You put
that was
yourself
it.
out there.
right. I think even like for me, I find that the good accountability partners are so respectful of your time. And I've had people to whom I would have given everything I know about Instagram. And I've even said, hey, let's just trade this time. And they're like, no, I'm going to hire you. And this is like beyond the accountability partner relationship. And so I've had two maybe in the last month who have one of them said, hey, create a package. I'm going to buy that package so that you can coach me. And then the other was also just hired me for power hours. And I I totally respect them and I appreciate them for knowing kind of the difference where it was
Yeah.
beyond just the relationship and that it was wanting more specific systematic instruction, instruction
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
coaching. And they were so kind to say, hey, let's take this outside. This is business, what we're wanting from you. And so let's
Yeah.
do it. So
Yeah.
I've been very appreciative that they've known the difference between, getting some feedback, being consistent in meeting to, okay, now it's your business and I'm gonna, compensate you for the time as well. So I find those are people I want in my life, not because they want to hire me for coaching, but because they have been respectful of my time and I've seen that coming from them. It was, they could have easily taken advantage of me
Sure.
and they said, nope, we're not going to do that. And so I find that that's been as far as fears. I think because when we were in the classroom, which is sad to say because it's not like we were going to make more money, but
Right.
I don't know how that got started, but it was like nobody wanted to share their ideas. It was like their idea. If you,
Yes.
how
Yeah.
dare you?
Yes.
Um, Especially for the new teacher, you felt so intimidated. There wasn't that collaboration. And so when people move online, they don't understand that environment exists, that to really thrive with an online business, you're going to have to go outside of yourself. You can't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
There's collaboration. And so I've been enjoying in the last year just meeting so many wonderful people and collaborating on different things and just friendships that grow, with other business owners. There's just been so much growth and I'm never lonely, I'm never feeling like
Yeah.
the weather in Texas has been, according to us, terrible, very cold. which
You
means
guys did
nothing.
have some ice storms. Those were some pretty nasty ice storms you guys had.
We did. It was tough.
Yeah.
So not being able to get out and about right now is fine because I have all these people that I meet with, throughout the week. And again, of course, my students, but just meeting with adults. If you're a tutor and you're always meeting with children,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I coach just so I can talk to adults. Okay.
Yeah. I know it does give us that opportunity. I love it too. You guys are my people. I need you.
Yeah.
We've got to get our words out. I don't know how many words they say women need to get out, but I definitely, need that. And I feel invigorated by my adult relationships that I have with my accountability partners or other people that I meet with, that it really excites me about my tutoring because
Yeah.
it can turn like, just you get into that like rut of doing the same thing or having the same sessions every day, different, and then just it really does. It invigorates me. I think I'm a better tutor because of the relationships that I have with, accountability partners outside, even my coaching relationships. I think it's just made me a better person.
I don't know if it's made
Yeah.
you a better person. You're a pretty incredible person. I can't imagine you getting any better, but
I feel
it is great.
I feel better. I do. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think this is like such a good point to kind of bring up about like how people have this fear that people are going to steal their ideas and all of
Yeah.
that. And honestly, at the end of the day, the tutors that are really out there to build their business and have success, that is not what our ammo is. I'm not out there trying to treat everybody like prey. Like, let me see
Mhm.
what I can steal and
No.
take from them. It is, how can I add value and service to them? I know you're going to add
I
something to it, Robin,
Yeah.
too.
For you, Robin.
No, I was just thinking when you were talking, Esme, and then Joanne. Whenever I think of Joanne, I always think of service because, like, what can you do? That's your main focus is what can I do to help you? Which I think is a fantastic message. It really is. But Esme, when you were talking, I was just thinking about integrity. I mean, I have I was tutoring Elaine's daughter. It's like the proudest thing that I've done. And I helped her get into university. She's going to become a marine biologist. And so and she reached out to me recently, the young lady, and said she was having problems with the physics. And I said, sure, it took me 10 minutes to answer. And I contacted Elaine and I said, your girl contacted me and she said, oh, okay, great. Yeah, just send me a bill. And automatically I'm like, it's 10 minutes. I'm not, no, don't. But it's the integrity. It's the integrity and
Yeah.
being honest. I think the integrity is paramount. That's what kept going through my head when you were talking, Esme. You have integrity.
Hmm.
You're not going to
Yeah.
steal people's ideas. That's just
Uh,
somebody who has integrity, does service, doesn't do that.
I want to say
Yeah.
that like I interview a lot of tutors on Instagram Live and they're reading tutors. And I could think, oh no, I'm not going to interview any reading tutors because they might take some of my clients. But I don't feel that way because I think I'm not for everyone, right? I'm not the tutor for everyone. That other tutor might be the perfect fit for someone. And I'm okay with it because eventually it'll circle back to me. So I don't have the fear of like competition. I don't think we're in competition because we are so different.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
You bring
we're
your own
so
flavor to the experience, and people are going to take a look and make their decision for themselves. And I don't know. I just think that the whole collaboration thing is like so much more powerful than this idea of competition and pushing everybody away. Like I would
Yeah.
rather collaborate and invite people in so that I can have
yes.
more success versus push everyone away and then eliminate the possibility of opportunity.
I would say
Yeah.
my success has increased because I've let more people in and I'm
Mm,
helping more people succeed. I think that's ultimately the key. The more people you help succeed, the more you will succeed.
yeah.
And it's not always just monetary, but it's also relationships and getting people are doing some wonderful things, like Elaine putting this book out. Like, why do we not want to tell others about it?
Yeah,
right? We do.
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
Right. Um, oh, I was just going to say something. Um, just going back to one of the keys of accountability. I know that was a question like 2 questions ago. Um, is that goal setting? Like we make sure that after every meeting, not after every meeting, but at the end of every meeting, we have to say what our goals are.
Nice one.
And we have to kind of talk through them. So like sometimes I'll be setting my goals and Robin's like, dude, that's an awful lot. Do you do you think you could focus it a little bit more?
That's
And
a
I'm
good
like,
suggestion. Yes.
oh yeah, because I always need that. But definitely that aspect of goal setting
Yeah.
for the week and then coming back and updating. Like that. And we
Yeah, and
forgot to mention that about accountability, and I didn't want to let that go.
also remember this is part of building the relationship. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've done this before. Is we come the next week and we always get, and that's exactly right. We always like start off with, okay, what did you get done this week? And sometimes it's like, I didn't get anything done because of X, Y, or Z, just because of life. And that's
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Sometimes that happens. So, but yeah, Suzanne's very good about that, about keeping us, Elaine and I, focused because we can wander away sometimes. But it's like, okay, this is where we started, and then we kind of talk about stuff, and then at the end, it's okay, this is what I'm going to do for the next week. So it's
Yeah.
that's
love it.
great.
I
I
love it.
think we
Yeah.
all deal with the shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
It's good for someone to point it out to us because I find that they'll be zoned in on what they thought they were going to do. And then they're like, whoa, look at that program. Oh, guess someone else is offering this and that. And they never get to finish anything. And so I think that's been helpful too, even for me to be able to say, okay, realistically, like Robin's saying, like realistically, knowing my schedule, what can I get done? And I think
Yeah.
helping each other break down things into smaller parts is really helpful. Very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so pivotal. I think when it comes down to it is really thinking about, okay, now what's achievable? What can I actually do? What can I actually put into practice and put in my business? I have shiny idea syndrome. Anybody else? Like you get this beautiful idea and then you want to jump on over there. And then
Oh.
you have this idea and you want to jump on over there. And it's like, okay,
Thanks.
focus.
But you deliver with the shiny idea. I mean, you write a book, you create a whole system. It's like, I'm barely figuring that out. She already figured it out and she wrote a book. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, but
I go into overlearn. Like I will listen to every podcast, I'll listen to every YouTube video, I'll be like, how can I put this into process now for tutors? How can we see how this isn't gonna work here and how that's gonna work over here? And then I have to think to myself, does this bring me closer to my goal or further away?
yeah.
And I always have to go, does that bring me closer to my goal or does it bring me further away? And if it brings me closer to my goal, I get to keep it. And if it pushes me away or goes in a different direction, it has to go away.
Yeah, that's what, like when I was talking to the jump starters this last week, I was saying, you want 10 clients, but you have 5, and your goal really is to work those 5 hours in marketing to gain those 5 students. And also working your business is not decorating your office or so
An
pointing
income producing activity. No.
income producing activities are what you need to zone in right now. Those other things you'll be able to do, but you can get caught up thinking you're doing business, but
Yeah.
nothing related to
Even like
business.
making my flyer look really pretty, like changing this and changing that. And like it's good to like make it look good, obviously. But if that's all I spend my time on and then it just sits on the shelf and it's collecting dust, that's not an income producing activity.
Right.
Getting
Better to
out and putting that up, that's the income producing activity. Yeah.
Yeah.
perfect, but never to get it published, never to get it done. I know Suzanne taught us that in blogging. It's like you just got to get it, publish it, and you just get better with time. Now I can create a hook in a second. I can see a
Oh God, I
situation.
still can't. Thank
I
you,
can,
ChatGPT. You've changed my life because now I can in a second.
but I do, and people, Karen used to make fun of me and say that I was the master hooker because somebody would give me an idea and I'm like, oh, this is the hook. But that comes with practice, right? Of doing something over and over and over again, and working with different people and helping them. And so I just think that we need to focus on income producing activities for our business, and we need to help each other point that out.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to develop, but maybe not right now.
Yeah.
And I think for me, now that my tutoring business is sustainable and I don't really have to worry about generating leads, I've been able to shift over into Instagram coaching and holding strategy calls and holding power hours and doing all that, because now I have the space to do that. And I tell people, like, take one thing and master it
Yeah.
to the point where you're like, I can teach someone else to do this, and then move on to the next thing, because I think you'll go further that way than trying to do everything and then
Yeah.
doing nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what it helps with keeping focus, right? The accountability partners are helping us keep the right focus because
Yeah.
we are all human and we all get sidetracked and we all get great ideas and we all see this new thing that's being offered or we see this new book that we should be reading. And I think it's great to continue to educate ourselves over and over again on the things that we want to be educated on. But sometimes we can just go off into left field and we need those people to point it out. So, advice, people that are just starting off and they're thinking, this account, you guys have sold me like this whole accountability partner thing this sounds like a great idea. I can't believe I didn't start this like 3 years ago. What advice would you have for somebody who is just thinking about getting into an accountability partnership?
I think of it as, have you ever been to a conference or even a party, and then you kind of stay behind with some people, and there's a point of interest that you're discussing? You're like, wow, I'm totally connecting with this person on this. It's the same thing online, whatever community you're in, online community, there's going to be those people that you just gravitate towards, either because they pull you up or because you
Mm-hmm.
encourage them. So I think we all need to have someone that we reach up to that can pull us up. And we also need to have someone that we reach down to and pull up as well. And I
Mm,
think both of those relationships will move you forward and move them forward in their growth. Um, just mixing it up that way, that it's not just you needing someone, but someone needing you, and knowing who's the right fit for an accountability. But all you can do is try, right? I mean, I don't know what y'all think. You just try it out, and kind of from the get-go say, my schedule might get busy. I might not be able to, this season's going to be busy for me. I can't meet weekly, or maybe we'll have to do monthly, and see what the group says. Sometimes things will fade away because of our busyness,
yep.
right?
And
And
it's not a marriage. I always tell people it's not a marriage.
yes,
Yeah.
you can get out of it gracefully, walk away from a partner, accountability partner. And really, most of the times, those things that happens because life gets busy. And
Mhm.
for tutors, it might be that now they're tutoring that hour that you used to meet. So it just naturally kind of outgrow that relation to some degree. Like, you don't have that weekly connection.
Yeah.
But when you meet up again, you're like, oh, it's like an old friend in meeting. So you'll know who's going to stick around with you for a longer term, right? So.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would say, yes, look around for some of the people that you're meeting and kind of pay attention to how you connect with them, right?
Hmm.
You want to, as you're networking, kind of reach out to people, like Esmy says, that you gravitate towards, and that you also feel that integrity.
Hmm.
Yes.
You want, because you kind of know who you can almost naturally connect with and kind of naturally can trust,
Yes.
so look for those, and then, like Robin did with Elaine and I, just do it. don't be
Just
scared to ask. And I was so floored that she asked me. I was like, and she did say, "Oh, I know you guys are like rock stars." And Elena and I are like, "What? What are you talking about? Are you kidding? No, we're not. We don't have all the answers. Come on, let's just do it."
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's awesome. Any other
Mhm.
thoughts or advice on what you would give that person that's just getting started or thinking of reaching out to someone?
I think like having the perspective that you're going to give to that relationship and go
Mhm.
in it, how can I give?
Mhm.
And sometimes it might be that you are following them and that you are commenting on their post and that they are seeing you. So they're taking notice of you as well, that you're a supporter. And I
Yeah.
think if people see that you are their supporter, even in those small ways, then they will be more open to that kind of partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much. This is so helpful. If you guys like content like this, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and keep tuning on in because we talk about topics that are so relevant to your tutoring business and they're going to help you take you to the next level. And this is a really, it seems like a simple concept, but sometimes it can feel really complicated. And each of these tutors has been in a great accountability partnership. If you've been in a bad accountability partnership, know that there are other people out there just like you that really want to add value and have a great they want to add to your life. They're not trying to take anything from your life. So there's lots of people that are out there. See who you gravitate towards. Look for people that have what you want. They have maybe a tutoring business that you desire. They have, a great personality. They've got, maybe they're not as open, and they seem like maybe a little shyer, and you're like, that's who I need to work with. Like, I need somebody who isn't so flamboyant or out there. I need somebody that's like a little bit more reserved. Like, we're all different people, and we attract different people. So, take into account what it is that you think that you need inside of your business. But I can tell you this: we all need accountability. The accountability is going to help you
Yeah.
take your business to the next level, and I care about your success. So keep tuning in, you guys, and we will see you next week. If you didn't check out the article yet, which was 50 online tutors speak out, what I wish I knew before I started my tutoring business, check that out on my website. You can go to www.onlinetutorcoach.com and go to blog, and you will see that article. And that article has some great tips and suggestions. And this was one of the suggestions in there, was to get an accountability partner. So check that out, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye bye.